have different reasons for not wanting to compost. And one big reason that I often hear is just not having the space. People don't have a yard, they live in an apartment, or their space is just small in general, and so they feel like they can't compost. But I'm gonna talk to you today about a method of compost that you can try today that is perfect for small spaces, perfect for apartments and people without yards, and will get you on the compost train. Hi, I'm Compost Fairy. Welcome to my channel. Alright y'all, so before we get into it, I just want to say welcome to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing, and then of course welcome back to my OGs and my folks who have been recently subscribed. I'm so happy all of y'all are here with me, and I can't wait to grow, explore, and do the damn thing with you. Okay, so I have a Bokashi bin, and for those who may be kind of new, Bokashi is a form of, it kind of gets put in the composting category, but it's technically a fermentation process, but you kind of compost the materials that you Bokashi, so that's why it kind of gets put into both. And so I have a Bokashi bin, and it needs to be put out, and so I have videos about Bokashi that I will link below. I have a part 1 and part 2 Bokashi video, and then I have a video that also encompasses how you can dispose of your Bokashi, burying it, adding it to your compost, and then the third method is the one I'll talk about today, making a soil factory. Okay, so what exactly is a soil factory? And when we talk about Bokashi and soil factory, what does that mean? So it's basically a tub that you can put your Bokashi in. It's filled with soil and or compost, and maybe like brown material, and then over time your Bokashi will break down and kind of matriculate into the soil you added, and it will add some beneficial microbes to it and make it a nice healthy looking soil that you can use on your plants pretty much right away. And so it's a really great way though for people who don't have a yard or who live in an apartment or just have a small space in general to be able to take advantage of composting, because you Bokashi your waste and then you put it in this bin and let it sit for a few weeks, and then after those few weeks pass, you get a really great soil. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so this is the Bokashi bin that we're going to make into a soil factory. Shout out to Bokashi Living for the bin. It's such a cool one. And so, as you can see, the white mold is on the food scraps, which is a sure sign that fermentation has occurred. It smells nice and fermented, and it's ready to be put out. And so, this is full of food scraps. And as you can see, this container is very compact, so perfect for small spaces. And since you push the food scraps down, you can fit a lot in here. Okay, so for this, you're going to need some materials. You need a big, kind of large enough container to hold all your Bokashi scraps that you've fermented. You'll also need some, I recommend old soil if you have it, but if you have to like buy some soil or get it from somewhere else, that's fine too. And then optional is having some compost so that you can get some microbes and insects in there to help break some stuff down. And brown material is also optional as well. Okay, so my bin doesn't have holes in it, but you can use a bin with drainage holes. Something you want to do though, if you do use a bin with drainage holes, and I do it anyway, even though I'm using one with not, but I just put some wood chips at the bottom just to kind of gather up any moisture that's going to accumulate so that it's not too wet once I check it. Alrighty, those wood chips have been added. I didn't add too many, like an inch or two, just at the bottom. So now what we're going to do is add about 2 to 3 inches of soil on top. All right, that soil has been added. Okay, so I have my bin. Now I'm going to start scooping, not putting the whole bin in, but scooping in the Bokashi food scraps little by little. All right, so I put about this much in here, and now what I'm gonna do is mix it in with the soil that I added. So you just wanna mix it in real good. This will help it break down a bit easier, and it will also encourage this old soil to get some great organic matter put into it. And then if you have big pieces like this, go ahead and break it up. It'll help it break down easier. The smaller the better, as I always say. All right, now that everything's nice and mixed in, I'm gonna go ahead and add more soil on top. Alrighty, our soil is on top. We don't see any more of those food scraps down there. And now I'm gonna do the same thing again, mix in the food with this soil. You can also add like browns, like leaves or shredded newspaper or like composty wood chips to this. And that can serve as like a extra thing you add on top of the soil. And I haven't tried it with just browns yet, but I think I may, just to see how it goes. You can mix it in with browns. Some folks, shout out to Garden of Oz, they're the ones who recommended that. And I did that the first time I did a soil factory and it worked out pretty well. So if you're low on soil, browns can be an option too. But I like doing this because I can just use old soil and make it new again and then use it in the garden. So it's lit. All right, so I mixed in those food scraps with the soil, and then I'm gonna just add more soil on top. I remember mentioning that compost could be used as part of your ingredients. So I have some old compost that didn't do so well, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in there. And that'll add some microbes and also some insects to the mix to help break shit down. I'm gonna add the last bit of food scraps in here. So the reason I'm not just pouring it on top is because there's a lot of liquid that's accumulated at the bottom that happens with Bokashi. I don't necessarily want it in here. I'm gonna pour it in my compost bin instead. Here are the last bits of food scraps, and just mix this in really good with this last layer of soil I added. So remember to just really, it's a very simple process. You're putting your first layer of like wood chips or soil at the bottom, and then mixing it in with the food scraps intermittently. And then you just kind of keep going until you've got everything mixed in, like I'm doing now. And then once it's mixed in, well, I'll show you what we do next. As you can see, the food and the soil got mixed in. So all we're gonna do is just put some soil right on top of it to finish it off. So I'm just gonna dump this. All right, she's nice and dumped. I'm gonna add a little bit more soil just because I felt like what I added was a little bit thin. You want a nice thick layer on top. And this is mainly because you don't want any animals, if you're keeping it outside, sniffing through and smelling the food scraps. You also just want to have a little bit more soil than food scraps, just so it can kind of matriculate into the soil a little bit easier. As a thing of protection, I always add wood chips right on top like this. Boom, baby. Wood chips are on top. And then I do another thing, which is add cardboard like this. Cause I'm fucking anal. I just don't want any like rodents, pests, anything messing with this bin. And I don't have problems. I keep it outside, don't have any problems. It also helps if it rains, it'll catch the cardboard and the wood chips first before it'll get the soil factory. But yeah, y'all, there she is, looking all cute. She's gonna stay out here. And it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for everything to break down, a little longer in the cold. But yeah, that's the soil factory. And what you're left with is this. So this is the soil factory that I did about 4 weeks ago. Let's dig into it so we can see how well everything is broken down. So as you can see, as I dig into it, we are not seeing any food scraps. And I packed that just like the one we just made. Put the food scraps in there. And as I dig even towards the bottom, you see some food scraps like this avocado peel that's still breaking down. But for the most part, everything else has matriculated itself into the soil. But we really get this nice soil that is nice and moist and, you know, full of moisture and microbes and ready to be used in our plants. So yeah, the shit really works. Your food scraps will break down. You will get a really, really, really nice final product. So yeah, y'all, those are the soil factories. As you can see, it's something that you can do in a small space, in an apartment, on a balcony, in a small yard, no yard. Like, since everything is so compact with the Bokashi bin and then the compact bin of the soil factory, it can all be done in-house. Consider this method of composting as something you're wanting to try because it's very straightforward and it is great for folks who maybe don't have that much to work with in terms of composting. And so I definitely recommend doing this, and I hope that this video helps you in terms of doing it for yourself. All right, we're gonna let that sit for about 4 to 6 weeks and we will check it. I will do a video so we can check it. And yeah, thank y'all so much for going on this journey with me, for watching, for supporting. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. It really does help me out, and I really do appreciate it. And just comment below if it's something you want to see more of. I really do appreciate hearing that too. All right, y'all. Thank you so much again. I can't wait to grow, explore, and do the damn thing with you next time. Have a good one and happy composting. Bye.